master's geologist. I grew up in Marion, North Carolina, up in McDowell County, and actually visited Hiddenite as a kid. My mother used to take me on rock collecting trips. But anyway, I decided when I was very young that I wanted to become a geologist. Since I graduated, I have been working for mining companies looking for mineral deposits. And this has been a very exciting career that's literally taken me all around the world. So I've worked in things like gold and silver deposits in the Western United States. Um, uh, I worked at a mercury mine in Nevada and actually used that as my master's thesis topic. And I've also worked in diamond exploration, worked up in the Canadian Arctic on those big diamond discoveries up there in the Yukon. And that was, we're working up there in the wintertime when it's 40 below zero. It's extreme temperatures. And and I've also done diamond exploration in South America and in Africa. Then almost retired, moved back to Marion, and started doing some consulting work in the emeralds, and got to know Jamie Hill and his mining operation there at Hiddenite, and I jumped on the opportunity to really study the geology in great detail for Hiddenite. In the early days, they didn't think the emeralds occurred below the saprolite. So many of these earlier mining ventures didn't have the ability to mine below the saprolite. So it's easy to dig in the saprolite. Once you get into solid hard rock, then you've got to start blasting and drilling and have some big equipment. So most of these were poorly funded operations that just stayed and did near surface exploration. There were a number of attempts to mine, and a number of companies that tried, and individuals who were doing mining, but it was always on small scale. Again, just using a track hoe or a backhoe to dig into the soft dirt, or even digging by hand. And so most of these efforts eventually came to an end because they didn't find enough emeralds. They weren't uncovering enough material to find enough new emeralds. Risk property, that was the name of a man who acquired the property, I think back in the 50s. And he opened the property up to prospectors. He actually charged $3 a day, and you could come in and dig all you want in the saprolite, using shovels and picks and so forth. And he actually also provided a backhoe that you could rent, or you could rent the backhoe operator, and they would dig a hole for you. And sure enough, there were numerous spectacular finds on the property, the Risk property, which eventually became Jamie Hill's property, the North American Emerald Mine property. So there were some big finds in the earlier days, but they weren't finding emeralds every day. These small operations, a lot of people came and paid their $3 a day to go look, and so it became quite popular. Let's see, Red Reitzel, I think, paid his $3 to go and spend the day, but this was at the Adams Farm, which is another one of the mineralized properties there on the other side of Hiddenite, which also produces emeralds. And it was open to the public as well. And Mr. Reitzel paid his $3 and discovered incredible amounts of emerald. He discovered at the time what was the second largest emerald ever found, and it is now in the museum, Smithsonian Museum in Washington. In the late 90s, Jamie Hill had dug a pit that was 65 feet deep, and so it went down below the level of the saprolite and the dirt, which is where like I say, the early discoveries and mining activities had all taken place, within 20 feet of the surface. But Jamie was down into the fresh rock. And so for the first time, a geologist got to see in great detail what these emeralds look like, and the veins that they occur in, the pockets that they occur in. And during my time visiting with Jamie at the mine, I actually got to witness a number of emerald discoveries. And that's just, that's once in a lifetime stuff. People did get excited based on what Jamie was finding, but Jamie owned the major property in the district, so he had the big guy tied up. There was still some activity going on the Adams farm. That was eventually Terry Ledford, a well-known and respected and capable prospector, came in and leased that property and started digging deeper and found some incredible emeralds doing that. As an exploration geologist, it's been in my career, my assignment has been, how do you evaluate a mineral property, and then how do you predict where there's going to be additional mineralization? In the case of these emeralds, that's impossible. There's no way to actually predict that you're going to find more until you go in and just start digging and mining and just by chance happen on the next vein. It's not one vein. There's actually thousands of small veins that are scattered throughout the rock, and they're not connected to each other. There's no way to follow one vein into the next vein. It's totally by chance. And so even during those days when Jamie Hill was mining and was occasionally finding very valuable emeralds, it was not economic. It cost more to mine than because he would only find one good emerald every year, for instance, but it would take a year's worth of mining and cost twice as much than what that $1 million emerald was worth. So eventually even Jamie had to stop mining because he just couldn't, it's just not economic. It's a shame to see it shut down. However, there are quite a number of prospectors in the Hiddenite area right now who are still working small properties and are hand digging using small digging machines in that saprolite layer, because you can also still find emeralds in that saprolite. Emeralds only occur in a few places around the world, and most of those emeralds are small emeralds. But here at Hiddenite, the emeralds are mostly large emeralds. The average size of an emerald is 5 carats. Well, that's the size of a pea or smaller. The average size of the emeralds found at Hiddenite is 50 carats. It's 10 times larger than the average emeralds found elsewhere in the world.